Let's start the car. Damn. Won't start. Welcome to another episode of 0 to 60. On today's episode, I'm switching out my high pressure fuel pump. Now, if you haven't been following along, I'm experiencing fuel pressure drops occasionally at the top end of the rev range, and it seems to be getting worse as I increase my ethanol content. So I've been running the car on E60 for nearly 6 months, and I reckon I've had this fuel pressure warning pop up twice, maybe 3 times tops over that period. However, the other night, in the quest for getting everything ready for the hybrid turbos, I've switched up to an E70 mix of fuel, and I managed to get this fault come up twice. Now, the high pressure fuel pump is one of the few main components that I haven't yet changed, so it's a good chance it's what's causing the problem, and I just want to get it done and make sure that it's another thing not to worry about once the hybrids are on. So, let's get into it. This is the new high pressure pump just here. Ordered it on Friday from a lovely gentleman down in Melbourne, and yeah, it's come. It was just over 1,000 Australian dollars, which is painful, but I've seen these fetching nearly 1,000 US, so to be fair, it's not a terrible price at all. Now, actually, these are the parts I'd already taken off the car. Some of this was done yesterday when I was doing the N20 map sensor. However, basically, to get access to where I need to be today, I've got the charge pipe off, throttle body, and then your normal bits and pieces that you pull off, including the air intakes. So let's have a quick look at what we're dealing with over on the car. Now, I will just say some people do actually take the intake manifold off, this lovely piece here. And normally I'm a good advocate of giving yourself as much access as you can. For the 10 minutes it'll take to take that off, it will make what I'm about to do easier. However, because I got the port injection, I'm nervous to remove this and then have to reseal the O-rings on the port injection. So I'm going to try and do it by leaving the intake manifold on. So this is the original high pressure fuel pump just here. I have also removed this box and the 2 connectors from this corner just to get this out of the way, and it's actually not too bad a room. I'm going to undo this Torx bit. Hopefully I'll just see if you guys can see what I'm pointing at. Undo that Torx bit there, which will allow me to slide the intake line or the inlet line into the fuel pump back, and hopefully might have to get the GoPro down on a bit of an angle. And this line just here is the outlet going up to the fuel rail. They're both 17mm nuts, so I've got to get them off. And the fuel pump's actually just held on with 3 5mm Allen keys. There's one there, one down at the bottom. Actually, I'll show you on the pump. They are the 3 mounting bolts that hold it on. These 2 are super easy to get to. The back one is a bit of a... It's going to be a bit more difficult because we've obviously got the block just here, so we've got to get through that gap there. I have got a long Allen key device, which I'm going to try and use that there. But I guess it's just a matter of getting on with it. So I will. See you guys in a second once I got that one off. And that was actually not too bad. Still got a bit of fuel in it. Ugh. I'll try and get that rag to absorb the rest of what drips up out. Something I didn't mention in that first part of the video, guys, make sure you disconnect the battery first off. The first time I did a rocket cover on one of these and I had the fuel lines disconnected, I got a nice little surprise when the fuel pump decided to randomly prime itself. Anyway, let's have a look at the 2 pumps. So here we have the original pump that was on the car and the new one that has just arrived today. Now, I did mention in the last video, I assumed this is the original pump. My car is a late 2007 model, so it didn't have the very first generation of these high pressure fuel pumps. And that's what that looks like. It looks like the 2nd gen. Somebody might know from that part number, which is 761393. 3-04, what version of pump this one is, but just looking at the corroded state of it, and we're in Queensland here, we don't really get much corrosion, so I'm assuming it is the original one. Yeah, just having a quick look off camera, it looks pretty much identical on the outside to the new one. I cannot tell any difference at all. Yeah, some people, if you're not actually familiar with what they do, the way that the direct injection engines work, not just N54, but all direct injection engines, they'll have a low pressure or a normal fuel injection level fuel pump, which feeds these pumps. And then this takes the pressure from that 60 to 70 PSI right up to 2,000 or 3,000 PSI. And that's how the direct injection has enough power to offset the compression within the cylinder. They're pretty cool. They're almost like a mini diesel fuel pump. Anyway, it all looks fine. I'm not seeing any issues comparing the two. What I might just do is pull, they actually have a filter just inside the entrance to the pump there. And if you see, that's quite a small hole that all the fuel has to feed through. But I thought I wanted to take that filter out because that is the one point that may have been causing the problem. Might just get a different pick. Okay, so I got, off camera, I just went a bit more aggressive with it. But yeah, I did get the filter out, and lo and behold, there is something in there. You can see there's a black thing in there. I wonder what that is. That is, feels like an O-ring, part of an O-ring maybe. Well, there you go. There was something in the filter. Crazy little filter in these things. Interesting. All right, back to putting this one in. I forgot one little thing. These, obviously, they drive off of the same gear or whatever you want to call it, keyway as the vacuum pump. And you do need to make sure that the position of the pickup arm is basically pretty close to where the other one came out, because if this is not in the same position, it will be very hard to get into place. Well, it won't go into place. So I'm just going to tweak that a little bit so that it looks like both pumps are in this pretty close to the same position. I'm sure I'll have a little bit of leeway when I slide it in. But yeah, all right. For the third time, I'll go and put it in the car. So that's the new pump in place. It actually wasn't too bad at all with the intake manifold in there. Yeah, and I managed to do it just with the Allen key. The Allen key was a little bit tight around the back, but to be fair, if all you've got is an Allen key, you can definitely do this job. You don't need anything special to get that rear one out. All right, I'm going to, actually what I might do is connect a few of these sensors. Actually, I'm going to prime the fuel pump as it is now and just make sure I haven't got any leaks before I put the rest of it in. But you will see me in a few seconds once I've got the rest of the car back in. So that is everything back in. I guess I just need to start it up and see if it works. I didn't end up doing a leak test. I got nervous about powering the ignition up without the intake manifold on. I don't know why. Anyway, so what we're going to do, get the JB4 in position, and we'll prime the fuel pumps. This should connect. Okay, so we've got 50 PSI low pressure. Just going to turn the ignition off again and turn the ignition on again. So we've now got 65 PSI low pressure, and there's fuel pressure in the rail. Okay, in the high pressure rail. Let's see if it starts up. That was kind of nerve-wracking. I'll shut the door. Gotta hear me a bit better. So we're just keeping an eye on the vitals. That was I saw the high pressure was a little bit stuttery before it's come around to a solid 13. The car seems to be idling fine. Guys, I think we're good. I'll cut the video off here and just let everything get up to temperature. and hopefully you'll see me shortly taking it for a drive. Okay, sorry about the light there, but she has now, we're at water temps at 80, so oil's probably a smidge under 70 degrees at the moment, Celsius. All the fuel pressure's settled down after it got out of cold start mode, and if I bring the revs up, it responds pretty much exactly as it did before. So I'm going to take it for a leisurely drive, and I'll let you know if we've got any problems. GoPro, oh, we're going, all right. So as soon as I come on the boost, even a little bit, the car conked out. So let's see what the error is. Cylinder injection shut off. That's the one that's giving me, you know what. Okay, let's see if we can see what's going on with fuel pressures. Okay, we have a low fuel pressure problem. Okay, let's get out and have a look under the engine and see what the hell I've buggered up. Okay, so I was quite concerned that maybe something at the front wasn't tight, but there is no fuel leaking. So, but we have a low pressure problem. Have we got any issues under the car? No. Well, this is fun. All I can think of is maybe something has come off when I fitted that low pressure fuel pump last week. Let me see if I can idle it back. Basically, when I prime the low pressure pump, it'll hit 50 or 60 and then it'll come back down. I think I've got a problem inside the fuel tank with the low pressure pump. What I might do, we'll prime it, because obviously it'll prime and then the DME shuts that low pump off. So we'll prime it, start the car. Damn. Won't start. Okay, it's coughing and farting, misfiring. Just running terribly, really. We've got a current fault code. Codes, read codes. Oh, misfiring. All the good joys. So we'll delete that one. And I have to turn it off and see if that misfire goes. I don't know if that's a fuel pressure thing that's caused it to misfire. Turn the car off. It is still tractoring. Read codes. No faults at the moment, but it's not running properly. Okay, error has now come up. Read codes. Misfiring on cylinder 3. Damn, okay. GoPro. So after waiting on the side of the road for about 10 minutes, I've still got that low pressure problem. Oh, come on. Nearly back. It's gonna stall. There it is. It's just stalled. Mother trucker. Oh fuck, we have... Stop. Okay, so there's definitely something wrong with my low pressure system, and that puts the high pressure system out of whack. That's really annoying. You'll see me when I limp it back to the shop. So I'm back. I managed to limp it back into the shed, and I've worked out what it is, and it is my mistake, but it's not as big a mistake as I thought it was. Now, I thought I must have cocked something up when I put the fuel pumps back in yesterday, because as you can see by the JB4, we're not holding low pressure fuel pressure. Annoyingly, this would have been the problem, which is what caused it to break down twice last week, and what I thought was the high pressure fuel pump. I'm going to leave it up to you guys, and this is going to be the end of this high pressure fuel pump video. If you've got any questions about installing a high pressure fuel pump, it's actually really easy, much easier than I was expecting it to be. I'm sort of glad that I've replaced it, because at least I know that's good. Anyway, I'm going to show you in the tank, and I'll leave you guys to comment in the comments what was wrong. And keep in mind what the gauges were doing, both the dash cluster and the JB4 gauges while we were out. I've still got that low pressure problem. Oh, come on, I'm nearly back. It's gonna stall. There it is. It's just, I don't know if that's a fuel pressure thing that's caused it to misfire. Turn the car off. But there's the fuel tank and the mess of a stage 3 fuel pump system, and just see if anyone can work out what the problem is. Don't know whether to be annoyed or happy about that. All right, until the next one, thank you very much for watching, and I'll probably do another update video tomorrow when I work out what's caused this problem. Thanks guys, see ya.